Guys, this is obviously the biggest game so far of the season. What does it take when you know kind of what the environment's going to be like, what the opponent's going to be like? What does it take what will it take for this team to be ready and to handle the moment the right way?
Yeah, I think for us, the biggest thing is, what we've been locking on the past couple of days is just taking it one day at a time, locking into the game plan, the scouting report and everything, and just being highly detailed. Obviously, Duke's a really good team coming in, to our arena. We're excited for it, ready for the challenge. One of the biggest things we're gonna, just have to be ready to go out and compete, leave it all out there. So I feel like we're ready for the challenge and excited for it.
Yeah, just locking in on the small details, learning about Duke's team, and just going out there and be ready to compete. Honestly, it's probably the best team we're gonna play all season and ranked #1 right now. So I'm looking forward to the competition and the competitiveness that we're gonna bring tomorrow night.
EJ, what was it like for you to rewatch the film from the 2 games in Florida? Because you're carrying a pretty heavy load for this team right now. Your usage rate is higher than any player Ohio State's had in a long time. Doing a lot, also turning it over more than I'm sure you probably like. What was it like watching the film from those 2 games? What do you take out of what you did?
Just learning, honestly. I could have helped more on the defensive end the last game, I felt like. But I just got to keep improving. So I don't feel like right now I'm at my best. I want to be at my best at the end of the season. So as I watch that, I'm just learning from everything. Just got to be ready to come out and compete, honestly, just play my hardest.
EJ, what are your impressions of Banchero for Duke, and how much are you looking forward to that matchup? You talked about defensively on him.
I mean, everybody knows how good of a player he is. You just don't become the potential #1 pick without working. So I feel like he's worked really hard to be in the position he's in. And I'm just going to approach the game how I approach every other game, just go out there and play my hardest.
How much extra motivation does it add, with it being the #1 team in the country? Does that add a little extra edge to you guys when you're practicing this week or anything like that?
I wouldn't say that, no. But Duke's always been, a highly reputable school. Always got a good program. So I think, that along with the #1, that definitely adds to it. But, I wouldn't say it adds like an extra edge in practice. We've been working hard, getting ready to prepare for this game for about 3 days now. So.
Do you guys see this as an opportunity? I mean, is that kind of the thought process when you're facing a team ranked #1 and the pedigree that Duke has, and obviously Coach K and everything that kind of goes into this game? Is this an opportunity for you guys to kind of showcase what you have?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like everybody's going to come out and compete at the highest level. They're going to come out and not take us lightly, and we're not going to take them lightly at all. So when we just approach this game, this Coach K final season, that's kind of excited to play against them. But we're just going to go out there, compete, honestly.
And for both of you guys, the opportunity to play a game against Duke in Coach K's final season. I mean, I realize he's been at Duke, but he's been so much about USA basketball, and he's had such a huge impact on the sport. What are your first thoughts or first memories of seeing Coach K or hearing that name? What games do you think of? What moments do you think of?
I don't really think of a specific game, honestly. Duke never really recruited me, so I never really paid them. Obviously I've always watched them. They've always been a great team. They're always in arguably top 20 teams in the country every year, it seems like. And one of my buddies from high school that I used to work out with, Luke and I went there, so I kind of watched them quite a bit when I was in high school my senior year. So I would say that was really the time I paid attention to him the most. But there's not really a specific game or anything that I think of. Obviously he's a great coach, got a great resume. Kudos to him for that. So
Justin, nobody is neutral on Duke. You either love him or hate him. I wonder if you'd take it as a compliment if somebody would refer to you as a left-handed J.J. Redick.
Yeah, I'll take it as a compliment. He had a great NBA career, had a great career at Duke. Arguably one of the best shooters in college of all time. So I'll definitely take that as a compliment, yeah.
What you guys, or EJ, you were talking about the usage rate, but it seems like facing, especially in the last 2 games in Florida, I mean, you saw 2 teams that, showed a little bit of size, a little bit of guys that were bigger than you, and I'm curious about what you guys learned over in Florida. What did you guys learn about your defense, especially playing against teams that showed a little bit more size than you do? Is there anything in particular that you learned that was different?
Finishing defensive possessions, getting a defensive rebound. Honestly, we got to finish plays. I feel like we let a lot of people get second chance opportunities, and I feel like they score off of those the most. So that's the only thing I really can see with the height difference and teams we play is just got to finish plays and grab the rebounds after they miss.
How important is, because Duke has their fair share of bigger guys as well, and I'm curious about, what have you guys been working on in practice to kind of, because you can't, get taller, what are you guys doing to kind of make that, different, just that difference in terms of rebound margin kind of get more in favor for you guys, especially if, you may not have the height that the opponent does?
I never really looked at it like that because I've always been somewhat undersized, I guess you could say. I'm pretty much taller than a lot of humans in the world, so I don't look at it like that. I just go out there and just play my hardest. I've always been considered undersized, so I don't really look at height differences. I go out there and make an impact like I'm 7'4", so I just go out there and play my hardest.
So in practice, or you guys haven't been changing from anything?
Nah, just probably boxing out the managers and going to get rebounds with two hands. That's about it.
You guys have had 3 of your games go down to the final second or seconds, and the Xavier game was a one-possession game in the final seconds. What are you still learning about yourselves in those moments where the game is right there in the balance? Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. What are you learning about yourselves in those late game, last-minute situations?
I think the biggest thing we learned from those moments was just, we got to be smarter as a unit, individually and collectively. So there's a lot of good things we could take from each and every one of those games. But I think that, the overriding thing from those games was we just got to play smarter. Yeah, I think we're pretty poised. We usually tend to get the shots we want, which is a good thing. But just playing smarter, offensively and defensively.
Does that also apply maybe the whole balance of the game? Because you have started to turn over a little bit more than you were at the beginning of the season. I know the pressure has picked up. You're playing higher ranked teams, but does that spread out through the course of the game too, where you look at some of these turnovers?
Yeah, for sure. And fouling, we just kind of put teams on the line a little bit too much, more than we should. Just knowing certain situations when they're in the bonus or double bonus. Yeah, so pretty much the whole game, we just got to be smarter and learn from it in the film.
EJ, it seems like you've really improved your help side defense this offseason. How has that kind of helped you, being an undersized guy, how's that helped you in your game overall?
I have a history of blocking shots kind of back in high school. So I just feel like me being more active and being more mobile and getting in better shape as time goes on is helping that out a lot. So I'm really becoming like a two-way player kind of. I like guarding guards and I switch off on them to show I can move my feet a little bit. So yeah, that's one side of the ball I'm still improving on as well as the offensive side.
This ACC Big Ten always gives good, great matchups. Is it something with the different styles that the conferences play that kind of leans into that? And how important is it to play teams from other big conferences, even though March is really far away, but it's still important?
Yeah, definitely. ACC has always been historically a great conference as well as the Big Ten, but I feel like the Big Ten is a little bit more physical when it comes to like style of play around the whole league. So we should see. Last year we played Notre Dame, right? Yeah. Like this is different styles of play, I guess you could say, like in all the different conferences. So I'm looking forward to it.
Justin, the Seton Hall game showed what kind of a weapon if you could beat with this team. The Florida coach, after his game against Cal, mentioned you by name, that we cannot allow Justin Ahrens to do this, and they didn't. They took away a lot of your opportunities. Just what can you guys do as a team, yourself collectively, to get those looks? To your credit, you're not forcing tough shots against bad defense that's up against you. Just what can you do to get more opportunities like you had against Seton Hall?
Yeah, I've been watching film, just trying to find ways. I feel like I can be, more active off the ball, just to keep the defense, honest and not, always just, keeping them on their toes. I had to play against Florida. I think I ran across the baseline a couple times. I got an open three. So, just stuff like that. Setting off ball screens. Forcing help so I can get that extra, a couple inches of separation to be able to snap a shot off. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is just going to be learning from the film, because the scouting reports are only going to be, cat's out of the bag for me. I shoot threes, so I got to do what I can and take advantage of any situation where I can snap one off and get a clean look.
Same vein for both of you. Just what have you guys talked about to get a little bit more production out of your ones and twos? Michi, Malachi, Wheeler. It looks like when Wheeler has his feet set and wants to shoot it, he'll make it. Just What can you do to get, has there been an emphasis the last 3 or 4 days to get a little bit more production out of the guards?
Yeah, as time goes on, confidence will grow, honestly. So, like I said, we don't want to be the best right now. We want to be at our best at the end of the year. But as the games keep improving, watching more film, just confidence has to grow for all of the guards and everybody on the team, really. So.
When you look at the non-conference slate, so far you guys have kind of hit the ground running here. How much does that help you for tomorrow night's game, knowing you've already played incredible talent?
Yeah, it helps a lot. Just obviously, 2 or 3 of them came down to the last second. So just being in games like that, just being in that type of atmosphere helps, a lot more than people would think. So, when another situation like that comes, we've been there before. It's not nothing new. We know what to expect. Like I said, we've been watching film, just trying to learn, get smarter, play a little bit more poised, which, like I said, I think we do, a pretty good job of right now. But, just those 2 things, are really key in late game situations when it's a close game, being poised and being smart. So I feel like it's going to help us a lot in the long run.
Time for 2 more.
You guys,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, a lot of people talk about not letting the game get to you how big it is. Do you guys talk about the fact that they're the #1 team and that they're Duke and it's Coach K's final season and the opportunity that tomorrow presents?
It's Coach K's final season. I feel like everybody know how big of a deal this is. He's been coach for 40+ years, so it's exciting, but we don't approach this game any differently than another game just because we want to go out there and compete and win every single chance we get. So.
EJ, you're talking about you don't want to be your best right now. You want to be your best late in the season. You historically here, you guys have had some pretty good starts to seasons. You've had some pretty big non-conference wins early in the year. Does that feel at all different this year? It seems like with Malachi, with Michi, with the youth on this team, there's been a lot of talk about this team will grow, will get better. It seems like maybe in some of the previous years that hasn't necessarily been the case. You've kind of been what you've been early. Does this feel different than the last 2 years in that regard?
That's a great question. I would say just this year is probably a little bit different because we've always had like an experienced backcourt, I guess you could say, and bringing in new guys like from different cultures like Jamari and Cedric. I feel like learning from the older guys like me and Justin and Kyle will really bring a different type of aspect to everything and just working every day. I feel like it's just a confidence thing. People have to gain confidence in being aggressive scorers and aggressive players and just get better on the defense side of the ball. And I feel like we will be the best at the end of the season.
Justin, I assume you're familiar with Matt Sylvester's 3 that beat Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever hit a game-winning, buzzer-beating 3? And if you were to hit one tomorrow night, would that be, to you, I mean, I don't know what, statewide, state tournament, stuff like that, would that be the biggest shot you've ever hit?
To answer your first question, yeah, I have. I think I had a couple in high school regular season, a couple in AAU. But yeah, it'd be great to hit one tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that, but if it did, I'll be ready to snap it off. Yeah, that'd be probably the biggest shot of my life.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.